Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Briefing for Wednesday, December 17th, 2025. We'll see a few prescribed fires ongoing or planned out there on the landscape, mainly for Utah, parts of Nevada, and up into western Wyoming. Precipitation for the past 7 and 14 days is shown here. This past 7 days on the left showing some really dry conditions, even over the past couple of weeks, especially for Utah and Nevada, especially the southern parts of the Great Basin. But even further north, some dry spots across much of Idaho, really just far southeast Idaho and parts of western Wyoming have seen near normal precip in the last couple of weeks. It's been very dry. We're starting to see the weather pattern change, however. Over the past 24 hours, really, we've seen some snow move into the central Idaho mountains and some a little bit limited precip up there as well. Snow depth still remains quite a bit below normal for the time of year, but the best snow that we have is over western Wyoming right now. If we look at the snowpack, still kind of telling that same story, much below normal across most of the Great Basin, especially Nevada, western Idaho, and western Utah. The eastern parts of the area are a little bit closer to normal, but still only the 70th percentile in western Wyoming and Idaho and eastern Utah, and the northern Utah mountains are still about 50th percentile for the time of year. That will change with the few atmospheric rivers coming into the Great Basin over the next week or so, adding to some snowpack at the higher elevations. Okay, so for today, our satellite imagery shown here, still westerly flow across much of the Great Basin. In fact, winds are really going to pick up today out of the west. This is a warm wind bringing this moisture in. So we are seeing an increase in precipitation across the north, but it's mostly going to be low elevation rain and some high elevation snow. So again, for today, we're looking at mostly westerly to slightly northwesterly flow with the kind of first round of the atmosphere river coming into the northern portions of the Great Basin with that increasing precipitation and wind. Ventilation rates increasing quite a bit today because of the increased winds. Very windy out there across the area. Again, mostly westerly to slightly northwesterly in parts of Idaho. Gusts up to 50, 55 miles an hour or so possible out there today. And mixing heights are on the higher side today as well. Tomorrow, more of the same as expected. Precipitation continuing across the north with that atmospheric river. Temperatures still staying on the warmer side. Ventilation rates decreasing a bit across portions of the area. The transport wind still stays somewhat elevated over northern Nevada and into parts of Idaho and western Wyoming, but decreasing a bit across the lower elevations in Utah. These winds are going to be mostly out of the southwest-west. Mixing heights are still fairly decent across parts of the area. And on Friday, more of the same and more precipitation moving into the north. Ventilation rates favorable across Nevada, but a little bit lower across portions of Idaho and northern Utah. Winds continue to be breezy or windy across northern Nevada and along the Sierra front with gusts up to 55 miles an hour, so still remaining very breezy. Those winds will continue up into western Wyoming as well and pick up across southwest Utah on Friday, and mixing heights remaining pretty high across the area as well. The forecasted clearing index for Utah is shown here. Pretty decent values across much of the area today, decreasing tomorrow as the winds die down, and then increasing once again, especially across southwest Utah with the increasing winds. On Saturday, kind of a break day from the precipitation. Ventilation rates are going to be higher across the north. And then on Sunday, we'll start to see more moisture coming in from the southwest. So precipitation picking up along the Sierra front and into northern Nevada, Idaho, across northern Utah as well. Ventilation rates, kind of a mixed bag as we head into the first of next week. On Monday, that moisture from the atmospheric river will continue to stream into mainly the northern portions of the Great Basin and the west along the Sierra front, northern Nevada. The southern Great Basin will still stay dry. Ventilation rates still remaining a mixed bag there. More of the same on Tuesday. We'll start to dry out across. On Tuesday, the southwesterly flow continues across the Great Basin, allowing precipitation to continue mainly across the northern and western parts of the area, and ventilation rates decrease a bit over Utah, but still staying somewhat favorable over parts of Nevada and Idaho. Let's look at the temperatures. This is a sad story for the heading into the week of Christmas for temperatures. We're very warm and have been for a little while. So the temperature anomalies here, maximums, we're going to be 12 to 15 to some cases 20 degrees above normal as we head through the week. and it just stays warm through Christmas. So on Saturday, we'll see some of the coolest temperatures across the north, so better chance of some possibly some lower snow levels there on Saturday. Otherwise, very warm. And looking at the precipitation forecast, pretty much we're going to be seeing precipitation each day of the next 6 or 7, mainly focused over the north. So Idaho, western Wyoming, moving into northern Utah, northern Nevada today. Tomorrow we'll see a little bit of a break further south, and then precipitation returning once again to northern Utah on Friday and into Saturday. And then Sunday and Monday, seeing that focus a little bit more over northern Nevada and along the Sierra front. So the totals for the next 7 days are pretty impressive in terms of precipitation totals or total moisture content. Looking at some of these reds here, we're going to see 2.5 to 3 inches of water content or precipitation. Of course, snow in the upper elevations and mainly rain in the lower elevations, but northern Nevada even picking up 3/4 to an inch of precip, and northern Utah doing pretty well too with this storm. So it would be nice if it were colder to get more snow, but we'll take the precipitation, even if it comes in the form of rain. And the extended forecast, 8 to 14 days here, looking towards the end of December, shifts the bullseye of the heat just a bit to the south and east, but still very warm for the time of year and keeping us in that above normal potential for precipitation as well. That concludes today's briefing. Please check back on Friday for the last briefing of the year. Thanks.